Hi, welcome to Harley Classics, and today we're going to talk about these three sports mopeds. They don't look much, but in the day, if you had one of these, you were somebody. The Yamaha Fizzy. There you go, Kenny Roberts colours, yellow with the black speed block. If you had one of these, you were somebody. Like I say, 16-year-old. You could drive these legally on the road at 16. In fact, I had one and I used to take it to school. 50cc, about 4.5 horsepower, and you'd probably do about 40 mile an hour if you were lucky, but everybody told lies about them and said, oh, I can get 50 out of mine, or 60 out of mine, or 70 out of mine. And what we used to do with them is, we used to get a big bore kit, so you would change the cylinder capacity from 50cc to 70cc. We'd take the exhaust off, we'd put a micron exhaust on. Inside the engine it was a rotary disc valve intake, so we'd file a bit of the valve off so it was letting more fuel and air mixture in quicker. And like I say, you'd probably only get about another 5 miles an hour out of it, but it felt like you were flying. I mean, you know, you were 16, you probably only weighed about 9 stone, so you weren't doing too bad. The next bike to it is the Honda SS50, which is probably the most reliable out of the three bikes I've got there, but probably the slowest. And again, we used to carry out a modification with that one, where we take the cylinder head and the barrel off and replace it with the cylinder head and barrel of a 70cc step through. And if you got stopped off the police with any of these bikes, from the outside you couldn't see the capacity had been changed. You know, the cylinder capacity was bigger by 20cc, but the actual physical size of the cylinder was the same. So the Honda made the Honda SS50, and they made two versions. That's the 4-speed, and you could tell the 4-speed because the 4-speed had drum brakes, and the 5-speed had a cable front disc brake. Why it had a cable disc brake, I've no idea, but it did. Great reliable things, absolutely fantastic reliability. Well, Honda, you couldn't beat them for reliability, but a bit sluggish. Moving along, we've got the Suzuki AP50. Now this was, you know, the direct competition to the Yamaha. Again, 50cc, 2-stroke, unlike the Honda, which was 4-stroke. So a bit more noisy, a bit more smoky. And again, you could carry a modification out on this, which was, again, change the top end to a big bore kit. You could get a 70 big bore kit, micron exhaust. A lot of people used to take the handlebars off and put drop handlebars on. Take the back rear pegs off and all sorts of modifications. But at 16, you know, you could tear around the shops with your mates, go to school on it, go to the local disco on it, and you thought you were great, you know. Cost me, I think my first insurance for the Yamaha was £16, and you used to get what they called a Norwich Rider Union policy, which meant you could ride anybody's motorcycle that didn't belong to you. So you could lend your mates, you could try your mates out if he'd lend you it. And there was always a gang of us flying about on these things. Well, there you go. Memory lane, Hardy Classics. Bye-bye.